excitement here and there. The sun is shining everywhere and spring makes everybody sing. It's in the air. Zoom, 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 high and low. Zoom, 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 here we go. It's in the air. I feel so smart and debonair. And I must warn each lady fair, beware, look out and have a care. It's in the air. It's in the air. Up the West End, that's the best end where the nightclubs thrive. Down into a dive you go. There's a jazz queen, she's a has-been, Lord knows what. Every night she's there on show. She dances underneath a magic spell. She's full of charm and beer and stout as well. She's 66 but she looks 16. Her friends don't know her now, her face is clean. That's Fanny, the frowsy nightclub queen. See her glide around the floor, then glide around it to the pub next door. That's Fanny, the frowsy nightclub queen. She looks well in the lime, a queen all the time. You get your money's worth. By day, you say, it's her second time on earth. Every morn at the break of day, they call for the empties and they cart away. Fanny, the frowsy nightclub queen. By text she's followed, and when she's collared, the judge she always cheeks. Twice a month, 2 weeks she'll do. She's often boasted, she's been toasted by her friends. She ought to be cremated too. You can't tell if she's brunette or a blonde. She's like something you drag out of a pond. Now she's a peach, but understand she's called a peach because she's always canned. That's Fanny, the frowsy nightclub queen. When she's dressed, she's like Mae West. She wears 2 saucepan lids upon her chest. That's Fanny. She looks well in the lime, a queen all the time. You get your money's worth. By day, you say, it's her second time on earth. She waltzes in the West End shops, then she waltzes out in between 2 cops. That's Fanny, the frowsy nightclub queen. I've had a lot of requests for the same old song each time, and I mustn't say goodbye to Shell and everybody without to sing it. Okay. Now Mr. Wu was a laundryman in a shop with an old green door. He'd iron all day, your linen away, he really makes me sore. He's lost his heart to a Chinese girl and his laundry's all gone wrong. All day he'll flirt, scorch your shirt, that's why I'm singing this song. Oh, Mr. Wu, what shall I do? I'm feeling kind of Limehouse Chinese laundry blues. This funny feeling keeps round me stealing. Oh, won't you throw your sweetheart overdue? My vest so short that it won't fit my little brother, and my new Sunday shirt has got a perforated rudder. Mr. Wu, what shall I do? I'm feeling kind of Limehouse Chinese laundry blues. Now, Mr. Wu, he's got a naughty eye that flickers. You ought to see it wobble when he's ironing ladies' blouses. Mr. Wu, what shall I do? I'm feeling kind of Limehouse Chinese laundry blues. Now, Mr. Wu, he's got a laundry kind of tricky. He starts me shirts and collars, but he never touched me waistcoat. Mr. Wu, what shall I do? I'm feeling kind of Limehouse Chinese laundry blues. Come on, whistling. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Well, now, that's the end of my little do with Shell. And I'd like to say now to all the folks here and in Australia, what a grand time Beryl and I have had. And we do thank everybody for being so kind to us and doing such a lot for the old country. It's easy to say a lot of words, but really, folks, I mean it. We've had a wonderful time, and I'd like to say thanks very much. Now, I'd like to thank Shell for giving me the opportunity to come right into everybody's home, but lock your doors tonight. And also, I'd like to thank Bob and the boys for being so nice and being so helpful, and also my old pal George Foster for being such a grand script writer. He wrote all the scripts that I worked from, and for him I thank him very much, and all you folk here tonight. Now, I can't say in words what I'd like to, but I'd like to say it in a little song. I'm going back home next week, way over the foam, to the other side of the world. Such nice people I've met, I shall leave with regret for the other side of the world. And though the rations are short, but all the food that you've bought have helped to keep the old banner unfurled. So to you my thanks I'm tending for the parcels you've been sending to the other side of the world.
The Shell Show says thank you, George Formby. Goodbye, good luck, and we hope to see you again. And thank you, David N. Martin and Tivoli Circuit Australia, for bringing George Formby to Australia. However, the good things still continue to come to the Shell Show, for next week sees the first appearance of How Are You Mate, Willie Fennell. So until then, au revoir from Bob Gibson, who directs the Shell Show music, and Harper Wilson, who produces the Shell Show for the Shell Company. Good night, and don't forget, you can always be sure of Shell.
Well, I'm sure that would have brought back many memories hearing the Shell Show, that time from January 1948 and the final appearance with George Formby. And not only was it nice to hear a Shell Show, I'm sure, but also to hear George Formby while he was visiting this country at that time. I look forward to being with you at a future time presenting another Collector's Corner, and till then it's a good night from Jamie Kelly.
You have just enjoyed or just missed Collector's Corner, presented by Alex Hehr.
You may not find us on your TV because in case you did not know, we're being brought to you on R.p.m.
Yes, it's radio, and 3CR is the station to be Sunday nights between 7 and
10:30
for
Nostalgia Unlimited.
It's 26 and a half minutes to 10 now, and you're on Nostalgia Unlimited through until 10:30, and we've got some lovely recordings left to play.
1 hour with you.
And before that, The Girl on the Police Gazette.
Dick Powell, accompanied by Victor Young and his orchestra, with The Girl on the Police Gazette, and we're playing this tonight for our good friend Joyce Caldwell in Balaclava. I hope you're feeling well, Joyce, by the way.
Indeed. And then 1 hour with you.
Yeah, that's rather not topical. What's the word I'm looking for? Appropriate, Alex.
Appropriate,
yeah.
Indeed. Donald Novus with Jimmy Greer and his orchestra, and the Robin Whiting composition, 1 hour with you, from the Paramount movie of the same name. And we're playing this one for Devo tonight. But firstly,
The Girl on the Police Gazette.
Some fellows see the girl that they love in a dream. Some fellows see their love in a rippling stream. I saw the girl that I can't forget on the cover of a police gazette. If I could find her, life would be peaches and cream. Oh, my search will never cease for the girl on the police gazette, for the pretty young brunette on the pink police gazette. And above my mantelpiece there's a page of the police gazette, with a pretty young brunette on the pink police gazette. I'd love to stop at my favorite barber shop just to take another look at the girl that I haven't met yet. And my longing will increase for the girl on the police gazette, for the pretty young brunette, on the pink police gazette. Where's that pretty young brunette on the pink police gazette? that pretty young brunette on the pink Police Gazette. I love to stop at my favorite barber shop just to take another look at the girl that I haven't met yet. And my longing will increase for the girl on the Police Gazette, for the pretty young brunette, on the pink Police Gazette. Love 1 hour with you, 1 hour all just being with you. Then I could say what I'm feeling and concealing in my heart. Tonight when all our dancing is through and moonbeams fall on roses and dew, perhaps you may even say that you love me too, and let me stay 1 hour with you. Tonight when all our dancing is through and the moonbeams fall on roses and dew, perhaps you may even say that you love me too, and let me stay 1 hour with you.
Well, there we were with, gee, that went into the label very smartly.
It did.
These Victors, I don't know.
Very nice version, though.
It's a lovely version, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Very pleasant. You've got a message, I think.
I've got a message, yes, sure I have. Lil Peachy. Lil enjoyed the Prisoner song and she thinks the program is just lovely.
Well, that's lovely to hear from you, Lil, and I spoke to Lil actually, so it's very nice to catch up with some of these people who ring in, and I see them as names on request sheets and what have you. Ted West rang from Upper Ferntree Gully, and Ted and I worked together many years ago.
Oh, really?
And it was lovely to hear from you, Ted, and he asked me to send a cheerio to two very dear friends of his, which are Francis and Leslie of Upper Ferntree Gully, and they're very big supporters of the show, as we well know.
Oh,
so
indeed.
from Ted West to Francis and Leslie, there's your cheerio.
And Bob Hammond. I took a call from Bob Hammond while Collector's Corner was playing, and Bob's enjoying the program.
Terrific.
Bob from Seaford. Good on you, Bob.
Thanks, Bob, for that. Well, we're going to go on with the program now, and don't forget at 10 o'clock we've got a small tribute to C.B. Cochrane in lieu of Paul Edward tonight for this week only.
Good.
Tiptoe Through the Tulips with Me, a good old standard, is sung tonight by Nick Lucas, the crooning troubadour. Nick recorded this song in Los Angeles in May 1929, so we could play it this evening for Diana of East Kew.
And guess who's returning? Al Bowley.
Al Bowley.
Yeah, this time with Sid Phillips and his Melodians.
Oh, lovely.
For Jack Tracy of Essendon and their August 1931 recording of Heartaches.
But firstly, here's Nick Lucas.
Shades of night are creeping, willow trees are weeping, old folks and babies are sleeping. Silver stars are gleaming, all alone I'm scheming, scheming to get you out here, my dear. Come tiptoe to the window, by the window, that is where I'll be. Come tiptoe through the tulips with me. Tiptoe from your pillow to the shadow of a willow tree, and tiptoe through the tulips with me. Knee deep in flowers we'll stray, we'll keep the showers away, and if I kiss you in the garden, in the moonlight, will you pardon me? Come tiptoe through the tulips with me. In flowers we'll stray, we'll keep the showers away, and if I kiss you in the garden, in the moonlight, will you pardon me? Come tiptoe through the tulips with me.
Heartaches, heartaches, my loving you meant only heartaches. Your kiss was such a sacred thing to me. I can't believe it's just a burning memory. Heartaches, heartaches, What does it matter how my heart breaks? I should be happy with someone new, but my heart aches for you.
Until 10:30, you're with Nostalgia Unlimited on Community Radio 3CR.
Where the time is 11 minutes to 10.
It is indeed.
And we have a little special treat at 10 o'clock in lieu of Paul Edward.
Yes, because of technical problem. But that should be good. It'll be nice, I think.
And we'll have time for three in a row,
We'll do three in a row.
What have you got there?
I've got Harry Davidson and his orchestra now with a request for Edna Eames. Now, in our last program, we played the other side of this disc for Fred Morecambe in his little waltz spot. And tonight, Edna has requested us to play the other side, which is Harry Davidson's The Fairy Dream medley. So
That's a pleasant
it is. It's very
too.
nice. You'll enjoy this one.
And then a song we normally associate with Al Bowley, My Canary Has Circles Under His Eyes. But it's played tonight by DeBroy Summers and his band, and the vocal is Dan Donovan. This was recorded in London in March 1931, and we're playing it this evening for our good friend Edward Everett.
Yes, and then there's an old-fashioned waltz medley. Chick Henderson comes back to the program now for Dorothy Barton with Harry Leader and his band and the old-fashioned waltz medley which they recorded in October 1936. But before that,
Harry Davidson.
became all the rage. It's even got to the old bird cage, and my canary has circles under his eyes. He used to whistle the prisoner's song, now he does snake hips the whole day long. My poor canary has circles under his eyes. His only pals are the yellow lark and just a tiny sparrow. But I am scared when he's in the park, he leads the straight and narrow. I've raised this birdie in manners so strict, yet I've a feeling I'm being tricked, 'cause my canary has circles under his eyes.
you can come back in now and put Maureen down.
Well, Maureen and I were dancing beautifully.
I know, you were leading.
I know.
Very good.
But did you notice Maureen's footwork?
She was very light on her feet. She's very light on her feet.
Just for
it's
a
a
while.
minute past 10, and we have got some messages, so we'll get through these.
Ellen from South Melbourne enjoyed Jamie Kelly's presentation of Collector's Corner, the George Formby. Great show, Jamie.
Terrific. Edna Reams enjoying the program, and thanks for Collector's Corner.
Devo, as usual, is enjoying the program.
Doreen from Richmond, a great Collector's Corner and great show.
And Joyce Caldwell, cheerio to all in here.
Doug and Glenn Crocker said they're enjoying the program. I don't know that name. Sounds like new people. Terrific.
And Ted Stanley. Ted always loves our program. Thank you, Ted.
And Bernie Hammond, a very good show. And George Formby was great.
And Rachel from Mooney Ponds thanks us for Johnny Wade, and she loves the program.
That's terrific. Now, what's coming up at 10:30?
At 10:30, we've got Let the Bands Play with Stan Ladd and Arthur Badley. So be listening for that, because tonight's program includes a bevy of bright marches, polkas, even some hymns, as well as a selection from the musical Paint Your Wagon. So don't forget, in about 27 minutes' time, Let the Bands Play with Stan Ladd.
And next week on Bill Bennett's Nostalgia Unlimited, Jeff Lasbury is doing the third part of Canaries, Crooners and Other Tuners. I think I've got that right. And that'll be interesting, so listen for that at 9 o'clock next Sunday night. And in a fortnight's time, you'll be back with John. And
John,
we don't know what...
we have a special surprise.
A special surprise? Oh, terrific. We'll
in other words, we don't know, Alex.
Okay, fine. But
it'll be good.
John and you will be back in a fortnight's
time.
All right. 3CR Community Radio, it's 3 minutes past 10. And now, in place of Paul Edward for tonight only, we have a small tribute to Charles B. Cochrane.
Charles Blake Cochrane, born in Linfield, Sussex on September the 25th, 1877.
Died in London on January 31st, 1951.
Cochrane was Britain's leading showman of his day. He was responsible for a large proportion of the plays, musicals, revues and other spectaculars staged in Britain in the 20s and 30s.
He produced no less than 5 Noel Coward musicals, and his revues were in the true Ziegfeld fashion.
And his chorus girls were popularly known as Mr. Cochrane's Young Ladies.
By way of a tribute to this great man of the English stage, we are featuring in this spot both sides of a 12-inch Columbia 78 entitled C.B. Cochrane Presents. This recording was made in London on August the 17th, 1933 by the BBC Dance Orchestra conducted by Henry Hall. Vocalists appearing are Alice Delicia, Les Allen, Peggy Wood and Mary Alice. Your narrator is Christopher Stone.
And on side 1 of this record it introduces I'll See You Again, Whose Baby Are You, A Room with a View, Do It Again, Someday I'll Find You, and Let's Do It.
On side 2, we hear She Didn't Say Yes, With a Song in My Heart, Mad About the Boy, I've Told Every Little Star, Dancing on the Ceiling, and finally, The Mirabelle Waltz.
Listen then as we play a musical tribute to Charles B. Cochrane and C.B. Cochrane Presents.
England's greatest showman is Charles B. Cochrane, and it seems only right that his 60th birthday should be celebrated by his admirers in an exchange of reminiscences of some of his greatest successes. What memories, for instance, of Bittersweet come to the mind when one hears Noel Coward's melody for the duet, I'll See You Again, that Peggy Wood and George Metaxa used to sing in the music lesson scene in the first act. But now throw your mind back to 1921, to the fun of the fair at the London Pavilion, the home of so many Cochrane triumphs, and the first song that June ever sang on the stage, Whose Baby Are You? same stage, we used to hear Jessie Matthews and Sonny Hale singing this classic among love duets, A Room with a View, from this year of grace. Tunes recall their singers, but now for a change, let's hear Delicia herself singing a typical song from Mayfair and Montmartre, the Cochrane show at the New Oxford Theatre in 1922.
Again. I might say no, 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 but do it again. My lips just ache to have you take the kiss that's waiting for you. You know if you do, you won't regret it. Come and get it. No one is near. I may cry, oh, 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 but no one will hear. Mama may scold me, 'cause she told me it is naughty, but then please do it again. Oh, please do it again.
Marvelous woman. Well now, Someday I'll Find You comes next. That's from Private Lives, sung by Noel Coward and Gertrude Lawrence at the Phoenix Theatre.
I told every little star just how sweet I think you are. Why haven't I told you? I told ripples in a brook, made my heart an open book. Why haven't I told you?
Edith Baker played My Heart Stood Still in One Damn Thing After Another, and Jessie Matthews sang it. And she also sang, if you remember, this next tune, Dancing on the Ceiling, in the bedroom scene in Evergreen, when Cochrane used the revolving stage for the first time at the Adelphi Theatre. Cavalcade was produced by Cochrane at Drury Lane Theatre. And let us hope that in the cavalcade of years we may have many, many more plays with the signature C.B. Cochrane Presents.
That was nice, wasn't it? A little bit of a
great old
change there, yes.
It was, a nice one. Haven't heard that for years and years.
Long time. It's 10:14. Nostalgia Unlimited with Alex Hehr and Les Egan over the other side.
And we're presenting Nostalgia Unlimited as per usual on every Sunday night between 7 o'clock and 10:30.
Next week, Bill Bennett and Jeff Lasbury will be along, and then your good self and John Ferguson our leader.
Right.
All right, let's go.
10:15. You just told us the time.
36 we're going to have now.
Yes, Tom Farnham of Fitzroy. He likes Rudy Valley and the Connecticut Yankees, and he likes the hit recording from the review George White Scandals. Life is Just a Bowl of Cherries. From this show was recorded in New York on August the 7th, 1931.
Earl Burnett and his Hotel Biltmore Orchestra are Riding Around in the Rain, and the song written by Gene Austin and Carmen Lombardo is played tonight for Gordon of Hampton. Hope you enjoy this. But firstly, here comes Rudy Valley.
rushing about. Why don't they stop someday, address themselves this way? Why are we here? Where are we going? It's time that we found out. We're not here to stay, we're on a short holiday. Life is just a bowl of cherries, don't take it serious, it's too mysterious. You work, you save, you worry so, but you can't take your dough when you go, go, go. So keep repeating it's the berries, the strongest oak must fall. The sweet things in life to you were just loaned, so how can you lose what you've never owned? Life is just a bowl of cherries, so live and laugh at it all. Of Willie Howard singing his chorus in the show. Life is just a bowl of cherries, don't take it serious, it's too mysterious. At 8 each morning I have got a date to take my plunge around the Empire State. You'll admit it's not the berries in a building that's so tall. There's a guy in the show the girls love to kiss, gets thousands a week just for crooning like this. Life is just a bowl of nuts, so live and laugh at it all.
recall the night the stars were out of sight. We were riding around in the rain. I asked her for a kiss. She said she didn't kiss. We kept riding around in the rain. Then I held her hand, but she didn't understand, and it all seemed so in vain. Then she answered yes, I found my happiness riding around in the rain. So don't wait for June nights and don't look for moonlight. Don't linger down in Lover's Lane. Wait and pick a night, a dark and stormy night, and take a riding around in the rain.
John from Watsonia. John's enjoying our program, thank you, John. Eric from McLeod, he always enjoys the program, Eric, thank you. And Norm Rowe, the show is great tonight.
Oh, thank you very much to those people. And I've got two. Flash Gordon, thanks for a lovely show. Best wishes to all. And Francis of Ferntree Gully says it's a lovely program. We appreciate your comments, one and all.
And I think we have time for two more.
Yes, we'll get two in before our closing theme.
Before Let the Bands Play.
Yes.
Now, for Francis of Ferntree Gully, here comes Elsie Carlisle, accompanied by Ambrose and his orchestra, with their January 1935 recording of My Kid's a Crooner.
And then another old-timer featuring Gerald Adams and the Variety Singers for Gladys and Harold. And I hope you're still with us, Gladys and Harold, because we're playing for you tonight The Honeysuckle and the Bee. But firstly, here's Elsie Carlisle.
His future I must plan. I hope he'll be some big doctor or big businessman. But it looks like he's ambitious, got his own idea. My kid's a crooner, though he's only 2. He sings boo-boo-boo-boo. He has no troubles, and when he blows bubbles, it's a boo-boo-boo-boo. I'm really anxious for my child's recovery. Yet all the papers say he's a child discovery. Instead of dada, he says ha-cha-cha and a boo-boo-boo-boo. I'm really worried, to doctors I've hurried about his boo-boo, boo-boo-boo-boo-boo. I think I'll write Bing Crosby, ask him what to do to stop my kid from crooning boo-boo-boo-boo.
Honeysuckles bloom when all nature seemed at rest. 'Neath a little rustic bar, mid the perfume of the flower, a maiden sat with one she loved the best. As they sang the songs of love, from the arbor just above came a bee which lit upon the vine. As it sipped the honeydew, they both vowed they would be true. Then he whispered to her words she thought divine. You are my honey, honeysuckle, I am the bee. I'd like to sip the honey sweet from those red lips you see. I love you dearly, dearly, and I want you to love me. You are my honey, honeysuckle, I am the bee. So beneath that sky so blue, these two lovers fond and true, with their hearts so filled with bliss, kissed. As they sat there side by side, he asked her to be his bride. She answered yes and sealed it with a kiss. For her heart had yielded soon, 'neath the honeysuckle's bloom, and through life they'd wander day by day. And he vowed just like the bee, I will build a home for thee. And the bee then seemed to answer them and say, you are my honeysuckle, I am the bee. I'd like to sip the honey sweet from those red lips you see. I love you dearly, dearly, and I want you to love me. You are my honeysuckle, I am the bee.
Leslie.
It's that time.
It certainly is. It's 27 minutes past 10 on Nostalgia Unlimited, and it's time for us to say good night to you all.
Good night, sweetheart, everybody sings. You'll hear it any place you go. We think that it is wrong, and so we've made a song that says good night to everyone we know. Good night, everyone, you've earned your daily bread. Don't be late in the morning, good night, and so to bed.
Well, everyone, we hope you've enjoyed tonight's presentation of Nostalgia Unlimited, and that you'll join Bill Bennett again next Sunday night between 7 and 7:30, and then in the fortnight's time
I'll be back with John Ferguson.
That's right, you will, with another 3.5 hours of great listening entertainment.
So be listening, and be listening next Sunday at 7 o'clock for Nostalgia Unlimited with Bill Bennett and Jeff Lasbury.
And my thanks to Jamie Kelly, a special guest this evening, coming in to present Collector's Corner. Thank you, Jamie, for that.
Thank you, Jamie. Been good to see you again.
Thank you, both of you.
Good. Okay, mate.
Good
All right.
Good night, everyone.
It's time for us to say good night, and stay tuned for Stan Ladd and Arthur Baddeley with Let the Bands Play. Good night, all.
Good night, and so to bed. Good night to all the postmen who call at our address with welcome little letters that are marked to HMS. Good night to all the firemen, we hope you're safe and well, although you go to blazes every time you ring your bell. Good night, everyone, you've earned your daily bread. Good night, and so to bed. Good night to all the highbrows, we think it is a lark to play what we are playing when you're wanting Mr. Mark. Good night to all our authors who write us books galore, and though we don't know which is best, we know one who is sure. Good night, everyone, you've earned your daily bread. Good night, and so to bed. Good night to taxi drivers who drive us day and night and never lose their tempers but are always most polite. Good night to everybody we haven't named before. Just make a rhyme up for yourselves, we don't know anymore. Good night, everyone, you've earned your daily bread. Good night, and so to bed.
You're in tune with Community Radio 3CR. It's 10:30, time for Let the Bands Play.